Hey guys, so today I am going to be doing a little bit of maintenance on one of the turtle tanks, and I talked about this briefly in a different video, but whenever I get home, I go around and make sure that everybody's doing good. And what I noticed when I walked up to this tank, or saw this tank when I walked to my room, is pretty obvious. The water level is very low. So knowing that it was pretty low yesterday and that it couldn't have gotten this low by its own, I thought it's leaking. But where is it leaking? So I got back down here, I looked, and I noticed that the flow on the filter was really low. But what I figured was happening is that the filter was overflowing for some reason. And that's exactly what was happening. So I took off this, and I realized that, as you can see right here, the area, these weren't spinning. Those sit in that little area right there. That was pressed up, and like no water was being able to get through. So I took that off. I took those two things off, and then what I noticed was that there was just like a ton of detritus in there, like all the way up to the top of the filter. I know it's kind of hard to see with the lights here, but you can see back there where the top of the filter is, where the black meets the blue. It was all the way up there to the point that it was leaking out quite a bit, which means that there's water behind this tank that I can't do anything about. But luckily all the electrical stuff is behind this tank, so that's good, but it will eventually dry, and can't really do anything about it. It's up behind a fish tank. So after that, I cleaned as much as that I could out, and a lot of it went to the bottom. And in fact, I'm going to take my net here and be getting a lot of this out, because obviously we don't want a bunch of detritus in the tank. And I grabbed this tub that I had here and started throwing a bunch of stuff into it, because I didn't really know what else to do. So I took out a lot of the plants that were back there as well. And the reason that much detritus did build up is that I feed, first of all, I feed this tank a lot. There's 15 goldfish, which is too many for a 75 gallon goldfish need a pond, basically. And one very large red-eared slider turtle that are in here, and I feed the tank once to twice a day, like quite a few pellets. So it was kind of dumb of me to think, oh, this tank looks really nice, I'm so glad it's doing well, just nothing bad going on here. It's just not that easy. All that feces and leftover food and anything build up in the tank, and they were building up in the filter. And because I don't actually have like a type of mechanical filtration in here, I just have basically chemical filtration. That's what I'm going to call it. The plants take out ammonia as well as, I want to say, nitrate out of the water. So that's basically their role, and to me that sounds like chemical filtration. I think it would be similar to what the beneficial bacteria do, which is convert ammonia to nitrite to nitrate. But I think the plants convert that nitrate into whatever they need, but they can also convert ammonia as well, I do believe. So to me, that I guess that would be biological filtration, because plants are living things. I'm not exactly sure on that, but I'll do more research on the future. But that's the only time of filtration I have in here, and I don't even have, I do have some normal biological filtration in one of the sides of this hang on back filter. I have some lava rock, which serves as something to hold beneficial bacteria to, again, convert ammonia to nitrate. So then I can take out the nitrate, which is far less harmful than nitrite and ammonia, out of the tank and doing water changes, which I don't have time to do very often. So this problem happens. So basically what this means to me is that I need to be watching out for that more. And also pretty soon I'll be moving the goldfish out of here as soon as possible, as soon as it gets warm outside, which will be very good for this tank. So that's basically what's happening here. Another thing is that on one side of this, I did have some mechanical filtration, and it's really old. And the reason I left it in here is because one of the peace lilies was growing onto it. So then I went ahead and removed that because that was like majorly obstructing the flow of that side. Like, it was just dripping down because it couldn't come out because that mechanical filtration was so filled with detritus. So I won't be putting that back. I'm going to clean off all these plants that are in here, and I'll go ahead and put that back. And then I think I'm going to do a water change. Just it won't be super difficult, but just while I'm working on other things in the room, I think I'm going to go ahead and be doing a water change. I really would love a system that I could just have the water go like straight out somewhere, and then have water come straight in. I can hook up my shower to this with a hose so it can come straight in, but I can't drain it that way, which is very disappointing. So I do have to use buckets. Otherwise I'd do water changes like every single week because it would be really easy. So anyway, I definitely need to fill up the water level, as you can see here. But I just wanted to talk about that. It's very important to have mechanical filtration and everything like that. But I'm not interested in having 15 goldfish in here. I'm interested in having one red-eared slider, which you still need a good amount of filtration for turtles, but not nearly as much. So since my goal wasn't really to house a bunch of goldfish, then I didn't think I needed as much filtration. I mean, obviously I was housing the goldfish, but in the future, I planned on them not being in here. I plan on setting up a proper pond for them, so then they can live in that year-round outside in the lovely Ohio weather. So I'm gonna go ahead and start draining this, and then I did get back there with my fingers and try to get all the detritus because it was so built up everywhere, and just get it out as much as I can. And as you can see, the water's going, but that's why there's so much in the bottom. So I'm gonna go ahead, take a good portion of the water out, clean these things, also clean off the plants a little bit, and then put everything back while I work on some other things as well. So that's pretty much what this video was about, pretty simply, but it was just something that happened and I wanted to share it with you guys. So as I had said, I first started messing with the plants and made sure they were all clean, as well as that filter stuff I had taken out, and then I just started draining the tank. And once I cleaned off the plants, I went ahead and put the plants back in, and then once I was done with that, I worked on other things in my room while the tank drained. So like I said, I don't have a system that I can just turn the water to start flowing out and it just flows out. I have to take out the buckets, which is unideal. But as you will see here, filling up the tank is actually much faster because I switch it up to my shower. Okay, so the tank still looks really bad, but because of that water change, a lot of the detritus is gone and it will clear up. Again, this is overstocked for sure, but it has been staying clear, which is a very good thing. And the reason for that is all these plants. These plants are helping tremendously. If I didn't have these plants, this would look like this all the time. So that is the reasoning behind that stuff, and I hope you guys enjoyed. All the goldfish should be fine, and then I'm sure Norman there is fine. He's a 20-plus-year-old red-eared slider, and I think he enjoys this tank. But as soon as summer comes, I'll be getting everybody outside, including the goldfish and Norman and my other turtles and everybody, and that'll give me the opportunity to help get some of these tanks stable and everything without having to have animals in them. I'm actually not sure what I'm going to do with this tank because I don't want to remove it, just because I'm scared of breaking it and I don't want to have to be worried about that. I honestly might just drain it and have it sit here all summer because I don't know what else to do, because I won't have any of these animals in here, and I won't have any other fish to put in here or anything like that, because everybody will be able to go outside. So this tank might sit idle for the summer, which isn't a problem or anything, but that just might be what happens. So hope you guys enjoyed. If you did, like it down below. If you have any comments or concerns, put in the comments below, and if you want more content, then subscribe. Have a fantastic day.